Blake, this one's for you, but how's it feel to know that you see Coach Loggins, and he started the same way you did, man? I mean, he came here, could have gone other places, but he came here, walked on, earned a scholarship, then now he's been an offensive coordinator in the NFL, now he's coach here. Just talk about what that means to you, just seeing someone that kind of took your route and is having that much success.
Yeah, well, I think a huge part of where we relate is we both kind of took the road less traveled. We kind of met here now, known him for a while, and great guy. He relates a lot to us, and like, he's from Arkansas. He loves the Hogs, just like, everybody in our room, so him being the asset that he is and being the teacher that he is, I think our paths have met in the right, form of him caring about the Hogs, me being from the state of Arkansas, and him playing here. That played a huge role in why he connects with the room, connects with the state and the team.
I guess, Hudson, just for you, what's your camp been like to this point? And Blake, also, I guess if you could answer this, just what have you seen from Hudson?
So far, I think, we've done a good job as a tight end room. Coach Loggins has come in and he's added a different, kind of aspect and kind of a different game to our play. I think, whenever Coach Cooper was here, I think we developed in the run game, and then, we brought in Coach Kennedy and like in spring ball, we did a really good job of really developing like our physicality, in the run game and, kind of in like our perimeter blocks. And, bringing in Coach Loggins, he's so, like offensive minded, he's had so much like just like big, like big teams like the NFL. He's done a lot. And to have him as your, like position coach, it's been pretty awesome. And so this camp has been, like amazing. Indy has been great. We've been learning a lot about being like receiving tight ends, on top of being physical in the run game. So, it's just been really good to have him, and camp's been going great so far. I'm really excited to scrimmage tomorrow and put the pads on and see what we can do.
Yeah, and I kind of piggyback off of what Hud said. Coach Loggins, he brings an asset to the room of seeing the whole picture, on any given play throughout practice. And, he kind of teaches us the grand scheme of the picture instead of just seeing through a straw, seeing what our job is. And he calls out every single thing, makes us think about things that we wouldn't traditionally as tight ends. And that just gives us a better understanding of what's going on in the whole play and the big picture. And as football players, that's you got to see the whole picture in order to be successful. And that's what he does a great job of. And he brings it down to a level where everybody in the room can understand it, I just say that's just how he's taught. Every coach has their own teaching style, and the coaches we've had have progressed us in different areas. And I think that he's kind of put another layer on top of that board of what our coaches through now have taught us. So pretty cool to see and pretty cool to learn from him, so.
For both you guys, what was your reaction when you heard Dowell was going to be your new position coach? Because, he's obviously got a great resume. And this is the first time he's ever coached college players, but he said coaching is coaching. Kind of how's he related to you guys? How do you feel like he's coached you guys so far?
It's actually kind of funny how, Coach Pittman, told him or, told us that he was going to be like our new tight ends coach. We were sitting in like a team meeting, Coach Brad Davis, he had just gone to, where did he go? LSU. That's right. Yeah. He went to LSU. And so we're sitting in there and he's like, I love bringing, past like alumni in here to come talk to you guys. And he brought up, he's like, oh yeah, I'm going to bring up Dowell Loggins. He's been coaching the NFL for a long time. And I'm just kind of sitting back in my chair like, oh, okay. This guy's pretty cool, I guess. He played for the Hogs. He's kind of giving this big old speech, and all this kind of stuff. And Coach Finn was like, you guys just talked to your new tight ends coach. And we were all like, oh my gosh, because he just gave his resume. He'd been, like an OC for a long, long time. He's really tenured in the NFL, and he has a lot of experience, worked with a lot of guys. And he's a quarterback. He's worked with quarterbacks, but like the transition to tight end, has just been amazing for him. And so it was pretty cool whenever we figured that out, because we just knew that, we were going to become better in the passing game and become more of a threat, so that we could get guys like Traylon open, get guys like, like Trey Knox open, all those kind of guys, and be able to open up the run game as well. So.
And I think too that he brings a professional mindset to our room every single day. And in order for us to get better and develop as leaders and, bring the young guys with us, he brings a huge kind of momentum to that side of us. He kind of leads us in the right way and treats us like true professionals that he's been around forever. He brings up players that he's coached in the past and kind of tells us how they operated and how technique was like their biggest thing. It didn't matter if it's a walkthrough practice or mental reps or anything like that. So I think him just educating us on the right way to do things has been huge since he's been here, for sure.
How's Dominique been, both of you guys? How's he been since he moved over there? Do you guys feel like you needed another person over there just for reps and things like that too?
Yeah, I definitely think that Dominique is a good asset to this room. I mean, he come from running back, knows the signals, knows the plays, but it's different living in a different world of having to learn what that guy does on that given play. The transition has been great, way faster than I anticipated, but sees the signal, gets lined up, and he's doing a great job. He's willing to learn, very smart, so I think Dominique is doing great. Excited to see what he can do.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I mean, he's a very smart guy. He knows what he's doing. I think, as he gets more confident, he's only done 2 or 3 days of being a tight end. I mean, I think as he gets more confident, I think he's going to be just a fantastic player. Because he does what he's supposed to do when he's supposed to do it. He runs his routes really well. He knows how to read a defense. He can, he's physical. He's a big guy. I mean, he's going to fit in really well, and he's done a good job.
So nobody likes to talk about themselves. So Hud, you tell us what you see from your teammate sitting beside you, then you'll have your turn to talk about him.
Yeah, perfect. Kern, I played with Kern. This is my 3rd year playing with Kern. And I mean, he's been a tremendous leader for our, just for the tight ends. I mean, he's done a great job of, really taking that mantle. Like I know my freshman year, going into my sophomore year, I mean, we had almost our entire room leave. It was just me, Nathan Bax and Kern for like 2 or 3 months until we moved over, Blaine Toll and all this kind of stuff that happened. But, Kern's done a really good job. He's really helped lead me. It's kind of nice when you have a more tenured guy, with you to be able to help, lead all the younger guys. Cause we got a young group. We have a smart group, but we also have a young group. And so I think having Kern, right beside me, I think it's been great. I mean, he's done a phenomenal job in camp. I think he has progressed very well from last year to this year, just in every aspect of his game. I think we all as tight ends have become more physical, just in the run game and then kind of those perimeter blocks that I was talking about. And in the passing game, this fall camp, I think we're more just detailed in what we're doing. And, like in film and stuff, there's not a lot of things that we're doing wrong. Obviously there are, but I mean, we're doing we're doing things a lot better than we would have, this time last year. So Kern's done a really good job of being able to lead us, being able to piggyback off me and I'm able to piggyback off him. We're able to kind of learn from each other.
Man, I think year 2 in any system, I think Hudson's done a great job of just growing as a player and growing as a man too. Last year, we were all of us were just kind of scuffling to just try not to mess up or, try to get lined up correctly and stuff like that. And I think we all kind of fell into that category. And this year, Hudson has taken a huge step as far as confidence, physicality, just playing fast because he's, year 2 in a system, just a lot better. And, Coach Loggins, he'll ask us every day, what's one thing we're working on? HUD, like he consistently goes out there and does what he's saying, so he holds us accountable to that. And everybody in the room does the same thing. But we all have different things to work on, so Coach Loggins will hold Hudson accountable for what he says. And then what I say, I'll do too. But yeah, I mean, just throughout camp and stuff like that, just looking forward to, how it goes from now on, getting pads tomorrow and see how it goes.
Nice.
Yep.
Yeah, Hudson, your brother was in here the other day saying that your dad used to tell him, I guess in junior high, or maybe it was Pee Wee or something, that, hey, if you knock this kid out or make him cry or whatever, you get to go to Dairy Queen. I was wondering, did he do that with you too?
I mean, he did with all of us. Like I know you guys love these kind of stories. But yeah, I mean, it was actually when we used to live in Georgia. We used to play for the Due West Hoyas. It was a great organization, a little Pee Wee club. And before practice, we'd be driving there. I mean, I'm like 5, 6 years old. My dad's blaring AC/DC, like Thunderstruck, just going crazy. My dad's like, if you lay somebody out today or, like make a kid cry, I'll go get you some Dairy Queen. I was like, all right, sounds good. Like M&M Blizzard, here we go. So, it was awesome to kind of have that mindset. And, like I try to make a play in a game. I'd look up and see my dad. And he's just like, I'm like, let's go. Got a little Dairy Queen. But no, I mean, my dad, Hayden's already said enough and I've said enough. I mean, he's the reason that, we're as tough as we are and, we're the players that we are. He used to get us out on the front lawn whenever I first started playing like tackle football when I was like 6 or 7, he would make Hunter and Hayden. We'd basically do like Oklahoma drills with pads on. Hunter's like 12 years old. I mean, he's literally already a man. I'm like 7 years old, terrified of football already. Like Hunter's coming downhill, just smoking me. And Hayden's doing the same thing. Hayden's a freaking wild man. But no, I mean, I really look back on those moments and I'm actually really thankful for it because it's made me the football player that I am. And it's also maybe the man that I am, because football adds a lot of value to your life and, kind of that toughness, like when things are hard, when things don't go your way. I think that's something, that Kern and I are actually learning a lot right now. There's a lot of things going on, all this, like Delta variant stuff's coming back. It's hot outside. There's a lot of things going on, that people could complain about, but we're going out there every day and we're doing our best. I really appreciate those moments that I had with my dad, with my brothers, to be able to push through hard stuff.
I'm sorry. And Blake, you were a guy people hadn't heard a lot about from last year, and then you had a really good year, and then you decided to come back. I guess was that kind of a no-brainer? What did last year mean to you, and how are you looking to build on that?
Yeah. So I always tell everybody, my parents mostly, they're like, man, you do whatever you want to do. They've always been like that. They've never pushed me to any decision that I didn't want to do. And I had one night I was sitting there on the back porch with my stepdad, and he was like, man, what do you want to do? And I said, well, I don't really have an option because I could either go back and do what I love or go to work. So it was really easy for me. Didn't want to go to work. So being a Hog's pretty good. So I just went back to work, came back up here, put my nose down, hope for another great year, love the Hogs. But yeah, it was really a no-brainer for me, man. I love being up here for as long as I have. And that's about it, man. It's just been an awesome experience. Thankful that I got another year to do it. A lot of people nobody before me and nobody after me will ever get that option again. You know what I mean? So it's been pretty cool to just come back up here and be beside these guys, and all my teammates and all of us COVID seniors are still here, and it's just a blessing that we get to do what we love for one more year, not for the COVID side, now that we're over that, but just rough year last year. Glad we get to do it another year, just because it was a hard year last year and get to play some football this year too.
You come back, but both of you guys, how does KJ Jefferson look? Because he's stepping in this year. He did the Missouri game, was great in that, but now he's kind of the man. How does he look in practice, both of you guys?
I mean, he's looked phenomenal. Losing Felipe obviously was hard, and he was a great leader. He was a great, role. He played a tremendous role, like on our offense, and he came in and he did a good job of leading, and people trusted him. And, I think KJ has really, taken that role of being the leader of our offense, and he's just run with it. He's done a good job of being confident out there. He's making great plays. He's making phenomenal throws that, I'm kind of sitting back like, wow. I think he's going to be a really special player because, he can move with his feet. He can throw. I'm just really excited because, I think he's going to be a phenomenal player. I think he's going to shock a lot of people. Obviously, you guys probably aren't going to be shocked, but I think the SEC will be shocked for sure.
Yeah, I'm going to piggyback on what Hud said. I think every single day that he goes out there, he has the right mindset. I think every day he goes out there, he grows in confidence, he grows in poise, he grows in leadership. First one on the field, and then he's pushing everybody to get off the field. Big transition is Coach Pittman's thing. So, man, he sprints out there and he makes sure that everybody sprints off. I just think that's the biggest thing that we need right now is that one leader to be there and be the level-headed guy. Whenever everything's going and practice is going 100 different ways, he's that one guy that sits there and he's like, come on, like, you know what I mean? We got to go. We got to transition. And I mean, he's making unbelievable throws. Everybody on the field, you know, stands behind him and protects him and stuff like that. And it's been cool to see him grow from last year to this year, you know, go through an off season with him. He's been working. So I'm excited to see KJ play.
It's for both of you. What's it been like maybe behind the scenes, kind of watching Coyle and Jackson, you know, try to come back from some bad injury like lately?
Yeah, I think Coylan's doing a terrific job in getting his body right. You know, obviously with the injuries he's had, it's a big step to come back. And I think he's doing a great job where he's staying behind him 100%, you know, and I think that's the biggest thing that I try to do is be there for Coylan, you know, through this time of uncertainty and things like that. I think it's huge for us to pick him up and give him confidence too, to come out there and play with us, you know, and I think he's kind of embracing that role of, you know, coming back healthy and all that kind of stuff. So I just say my charge, and I think everybody in the room is just standing behind him for him to come out healthy and have a good time with us.
Yeah, I mean, you know, Kern basically said it, you know, I mean, he basically said it that, I mean, we're rooting for him. I mean, we want him to come back healthy and, you know, we don't want him to come back and, you know, just get hurt again. So, I mean, we want him to come back, you know, like as healthy as he can. I think he can play just a great role for us. You know, I mean, he's, you know, he has those wide receiver abilities. He's able to, you know, run routes, able to stretch the field, able to, you know, basically run the routes, you know, like that we run. And I'm just really hoping that, you know, he can gain the confidence back. Cause I mean, it's hard to come back from, you know, 2 knee surgeries. But Coylan, you know, knowing Coylan for, you know, the time that I have, I know the kind of person that he is, and I know the kind of leader that he is. And I think he's going to do a good job because, I mean, he fights through a lot of stuff and he's fought through a lot of stuff. So, I mean, we're just excited to see him, you know, get in action.
Question for both y'all. What do you hope to see in the scrimmage tomorrow? Have you been assignment sound as an overall offense? How's that gone? And what do you want to see in the scrimmage tomorrow? Blake, please.
Yeah, I all camp, I would say for the most part, assignment wise, we've been good as an offense, you know, in practice. That's why you practice, you know, you have good plays, you have bad plays, you have looks that are hard looks. And I would rather have that in practice. You know what I mean? I'd rather be pushed in practice. Coach Loggins says it all the time is practice should be your hardest time of the year, you know, because you go out there on game day knowing every single look that they can throw at you. And all of a sudden you've already seen it, you know? So, yeah, I just think that he prepares us, and, you know, Coach Browse and Coach Kennedy, they give us the hardest looks for a reason. And then tomorrow in the scrimmage, that's one of those, I'd just like to see physicality and finish, you know, and just a hog mentality throughout the day.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. I think, you know, like our defense, you know, that, you know, Coach Odom runs, you know, there's a lot of different schemes that he's put in. So it's been kind of awesome to get just so many different looks at almost every single day. Like they're going 3 down fronts, you know, like 4 down fronts, they're doing, you know, odd fronts, they're doing all these different kind of fronts. So we're getting to see, you know, different teams that we're gonna be able to play this year. And so that's actually been pretty cool to be able to get just different reps and get, you know, seeing how this play is going to work against an odd front, or how this play is going to work against, you know, like 4 down. But I mean, you know, just as, you know, like he said, you know, I'm just excited for the scrimmage. You know, I mean, I'm always excited to get kind of some real football in there. You know, our defense is doing phenomenal things, and I'm really excited for them. I think they're going to be one of the top defenses, you know, in the SEC this year. Coach Odom is just leading them really right. Grant Morgan, Jalen Catalan, those kind of guys. I mean, they are stepping up and they are being tremendous leaders, you know, on the defense. And, you know, like on the offense, KJ, like as we said, he's done a great job. But, you know, I'm just excited, you know, like he said, to just kind of get back to that, just like, you know, playing like a wild band of Razorbacks, you know, kind of that term that, you know, was coined, you know, a long time ago that, you know, that gave us our nickname, you know, and gave us our mascot. I'm just excited to be able to go back to playing like that and showing people that, you know, we're not just some push around team. You know, we're going to come out and we're going to play as hard as we can, because that's just who we are.
Yeah, I've got a question for both of you. Maybe Hudson first. What does Nathan Bax bring to the table? Coach Loggins was saying he may be the most improved guy in the room so far.
Yeah, I mean, since since I was a freshman. He came when I was a freshman. I know he transferred from Illinois State when I was a freshman, and since then, he's developed tremendously. He's done a phenomenal job of just locking in meetings. He's totally changed his body, like just in the weight room, and he's gotten so much stronger in his lower body and his upper body, and just the details. He's focused on the details. He pays attention to meetings. He's getting extra stuff in after workouts, after practice. He's done a great job, and he has improved in just every aspect of the game. And I think, I'm not speaking for Kern, but I think I can speak for Kern that, he could be a real big, contributor to our team this year, not only as a tight end, but, like as a special teams player, but I think also as a tight end. I think he's going to do a good job, and I'm really proud of him. He's done great.
Yeah, 100%. I piggyback on what Hud said, but he said it all, like he prides himself on every part of his game. If it's special teams, he's going 100%. He's locked in meetings. He's right there behind us and everything we do. He's leading too. You know what I mean? That's how everybody in the tight end group, we're all leaders, and Bax has done a great job as far as just pushing himself, pushing us whenever we're down, and he's been a great asset to the room. I've known him for a long time. He's been here for a long time. And he just comes into work every day, puts his head down and just keeps on trucking, man, I have the most respect for him. You know what I mean? Because he has been a great friend, great teammate, everything like that. You can't ask for a better guy than that to sit right there beside you in meetings, bounce questions back and forth, and just be that voice in that position room that he locks us in. He asks the tough questions. He asks the questions that he had from maybe not yesterday, but maybe a week ago. He'll remember it, and he'll snap back to that scenario. And just cool to be able to bounce things back and forth, and him run over to me in practice. I run over to him in practice, and we answer each other's questions. Why does it look like this? Why does it look like that? And he just takes great pride in his work and great pride in what we think about him, what the coaches think about him, what special teams. He'll bring a huge role to special teams in the fall. I think Bax is becoming a great player, great from this year or last year to this year. I think it's a huge improvement for him, and I'm proud of him for that.